Well, hello. Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to have our new career spotlight for this month with Ashely, and she's going to introduce herself. She's going to share a little bit about her career journey. She is a money coach and a financial coach, and we met each other through our local Chamber of Commerce. So she was also a recent speaker for our Women in Leadership breakfast in the Midlothian area. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to ask her to share a little bit more about her career journey with us. So Ashely, can you share with us a little bit about what are you doing today? What is your educational background? And how did you get here?
How long do you have?
Well, we have a few minutes.
Ashely Abplanalp, and for anyone wondering what the derivation is, it's Swiss. It means from a plain in the Alps. And yes, I married into the last name. I was much simpler back in the day, but my husband and I have been together for 26 years, married 23 this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he kept me around, believe it or not, and I him. So, there's that. And I am, like Kaisha said, a financial coach or a money coach. I use the terms interchangeably. Just depends on the audience. A lot of people get money coach more than financial coach. I am not a financial advisor.
Okay.
And that, I need to make that very clear. I do not have the ability to sell any mutual funds or, take amount of money and project it into the future. That's not what I do. I am a personal finance behavioral expert, and I make you and your money behave, or I help you guys I guide you to make your money and your behavior behave in terms of what you're doing with the money. I help families set up their financial banking systems.
That's awesome.
And it's not, that I'm a banker either, but we go through the budget, line item budget, we go through savings, and we go through eliminating debt. And that's what I do, and I coach in that little space. It's a newer financial services piece of the pie. And yeah, I've been doing it for a decade now.
That's awesome. Something tells me that this was not your first career path, because you told us that you started doing this 10 years ago. So tell us, what did you do before you were a financial coach and a money coach, and what led you to go down this path?
Right. Okay. Well, when I got out of school, and you had mentioned or asked earlier, what was my educational background?
Right.
My husband and I did meet at Virginia Tech, and I had the opportunity to do 2 majors. I almost double degreed. I started my major in the business school, Pamplin School of Business. Though what are those required? I don't know. I've been so far removed from school, but those required social or sociology or psychology or whatever. Well, I took sociology and psychology. And I didn't like psychology because it was too biological based. That's too detailed for me, and I got confused. But I really, really enjoyed what people did, studying in mass, how a group of people would act.
Interesting.
And I just kept on taking, because of my interest in that study, I just kept on taking classes, and lo and behold, I think I was about 12 hours away from double degree.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I had also studied abroad in Switzerland, believe it or not. So I've been to Switzerland, yet my husband has not, and we always played back and forth about that. So I was ready to graduate. I had already taken enough credits. I was 4.5 years in with the study abroad, so I was ready to graduate. But yeah, I'm literally 12 credits shy of 2 degrees.
That's awesome. So your experience when you finished college and you went into the workforce, tell us what has helped you be successful. When you transitioned from college, what was your first job assignment? And how did you successfully transition into what you're doing today?
Okay. Well, it is a journey. Life is a journey. It does not go like this. It goes a lot like this. And then throw in kids and the family and your relationship, the relationships that you've built over the years. There are a lot of twists and turns. Though my first job right out of the gate was with, get this, you'll appreciate this, I was with AT&T. I sold commercial long distance, right? When it was like 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, whatever the going rate was, right? So I would go and knock on small to mid-sized businesses and see if they were interested in changing their providers. And then, AT&T at the time was kind of like the Cadillac, if you will. And so they were really expensive. So MCI and Verizon wasn't even around, I don't think. I don't even know what the other ones were, but I would go in, and this is how great of a salesperson I was. People would say, well, we would love to work with you, but, can you bring the long distance costs down?
Right.
Because MCI is offering 2 cents. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do that. And I obviously think that that's the better deal. So, I did not last very long in that field. Fast forward 6 months. It was only 6 months. And I transitioned into the .com in HR. And I started as a generalist.
Awesome.
And this was 98, 99, right as the .com boom was happening.
That's awesome.
And it was exciting. It was
Yes.
awesome. It was exciting.
Yes.
We had all these, it was cool. The lunches were brought in. We hear a lot about all the things that is, the benefits that are building the cultures within the different companies nowadays. Well, that was the harbinger in the start of it all. And of course, one of the most interesting things, I was a generalist. I did 401k benefits. I sat at the broker's table for the healthcare negotiations. It was fun. I did training. I did development. It was really cool. And that was my career for 7 years.
Awesome.
And I actually, when the .com, I was let go. But before I was let go, this is from a company that acquired OneSoft, was the name of the company I started working for. And I had to actually let go of my bridesmaid in 2000, one of my bridesmaids in 2000.
That was very challenging.
That was very challenging. And you're talking about young women just starting out, not even, we weren't even 25.
Wow.
And that was my first test of work and friendship and how some things can cross over, because as an HR professional you have to be very discreet. You're getting information about people letting go.
Right.
We had a whole system. It was hard enough for me, and I had to walk the line of, okay, we're going through this scenario. Pretty much everybody everybody's going to be let go. And that was the step that I took because I needed to keep that professional side and confidentiality that my senior leaders were expecting of me, and that I would expect of myself. You know, highest professionalism, and this is how you do the job. I didn't negate her feelings, but that was, I was a wreck.
I can only imagine. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm fascinated to hear how you have evolved and changed and pivoted in your career. When we sat down this morning, you said you're in a constant state of transition. So I will phrase that as an experienced transitioner. So
That's very good. Yeah, I like that.
You like that? Okay. Because some people, and myself too, a transition can seem frightening. It can seem there's a lot of uncertainty, but a transition can definitely open doors for you to new spaces, new opportunities, and more growth.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who's considering a career transition from someone like yourself who's very experienced? What would you say would be the top 3 things they need to know to be able to successfully transition to the next role?
Right. And you said the word growth. That's what transition is. Transition, evolving. I'm a continual learner, and I'm very curious. I think that's probably one of my, it's funny because it's one of my key characteristics. I'm always just curious. Well, why? Why does that happen? Why does it have to be done that way? And I'm constantly changing my perspectives based off of new information that I garner, right? And what's funny is my childhood friend, her mother was like a second mom to me. And recently, and she has since passed, but before she passed, she had written a note to me. And I didn't realize that I did this even back then, but why? Mrs. J, why is that? Why is that, Mrs. J? Why? And apparently I drove her nuts, which, ask my husband, I'm really good about that, or my kids. And, you know, so being able to be curious, and when you're fascinated by, when something sticks, when you just feel like that's a genuine good fit, don't be afraid to pursue, because it's in that pursuit that we're transitioning.
Absolutely.
And we're growing into and in my faith tradition, into the purpose that we're designed to be.
Absolutely.
And it's all about the what it makes of you, right? And it's not easy. And by the way, so I was in long distance sales, then I was in HR, then we, on a whim, literally in 2003, my husband and I just knew that I did not want to raise a family up in Northern Virginia. So we picked up and left. And I transitioned again into real estate, where I served in real estate for 10 years, and then moved on to financial coaching. And I'll get back to that in a minute. Though, number one, be curious into everything that you're pursuing. You're evolving, you're growing. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Absolutely.
And it's not always the easiest thing to traverse, because I've had some major struggles. In fact, one of my biggest career challenges was last year, when I thought I was meant to go into service for Virginia's government and in the state, and found out, nope, that is not where I was meant to be. And then having to humble myself and really lean into, God, and okay, I thought you were leading me down this path. Turns out you weren't. But I do know I have these skills, and I've been developing them more and more and more, and I keep on getting more favorable responses from that versus this. So that's when the decision to, again, recognize, okay, no, your work is here. And it didn't change, but my thought process was, well, maybe I'm designed for this. Maybe I'm designed for state leadership, which, that would have been cool, but that, alas, was not my path.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to be able to have you with us today to share your journey. And you shared, I thought, some wonderful insight that transitions aren't always easy. Transitions can happen throughout our careers. Mm-hmm. And to really follow those areas that you're most interested in, mm-hmm. and where you will see the traction, you'll see the pull, and you will see where this effort is aligned with your purpose, mm-hmm. with your mission. And so I'm very thankful that you spent time with us today to share with us. And I would love for us to stay connected with you as we move forward into the new year. And it's not the new year, this is first quarter, but this year has moved so fast.
Oh my goodness, yes. We were just talking about that on the way up. Oh my gosh, March is almost over.
March is almost over. So we would love to hear back from you throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And you are an experienced transitioner. Yeah. And I'm excited about that. We have that in common as well. So I would like for you to share, how can people stay connected with you if they have questions about your career journey, what you're doing today as a money and a financial coach? How can they reach you?
Well, my business is called Money Momentum, and my website is positivemoneymomentum.com. So that's one way to get a hold of me. And I don't know, do you put anything in the, I'm not very tech savvy, guys.
I can help you there.
Okay.
I'll tag you different places.
Okay.
LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I will be sure to add Ashely in all of those posts so you can connect with her there as well.
Thank you. Yes, I'm transitioning more into the technology space, but a big part of what I do is you guys stick with the principles and the fundamentals. And I'm a relationship person, right? So I'm trying to build, like I said, I had a career friction last year. And so I'm recouping and rejuvenating my database and all that stuff. I'm very relationship driven. So until I get that, I won't move to the technology. But it is coming, I promise. We'll be more IG or LinkedIn or I don't know, what's all the
we can talk more about that.
She got me.
Yes. So thank you again for sharing with us.
Absolutely.
And we will stay connected with you.
Thank you.
You're